Hello, my name is Noemi Bolivar, and since y'all enjoyed my last speech about sharks, I decided that I would keep with the theme and talk about them again this week. More specifically, though, I'm going to discuss why we even need sharks. It seemed kind of crazy to think that human economy would be so dependent on a voracious killing machine, but there really is much more at stake than is readily apparent. Rich ocean fisheries and popular tourist destinations depend on sharks to maintain themselves, and sharks' tissue has actually proven to be a biomedical bounty. First of all, sharks, being apex predators, provide the benefit of regulating food webs and maintaining balance with their populations. Without sharks, many fisheries would collapse. It might be counterintuitive to think that a direct competitor for all that glorious seafood is going to help us harvest more, but hear me out. Sharks, being on top, naturally eat almost every other species. However, they mostly tend to go for weak or sick prey first, since they can spend a lot less energy trying to catch it. This keeps the rest of the population healthier, and after several fish generations, keeps the entire population fit. Another balancing point would be the shark's appetite for our favorite foods, predators. According to Oceana.org, a study done in North Carolina monitored the effect of the disappearance of sharks in a bay to the local scallop industry. The researchers found out that when a shark population declined, the ray population increased. The increase in all those hungry rays led to a decrease in the scallop harvest the next year, and eventually that fishery closed. Meanwhile, the rays moved on to prey on other mollusks, forcing these mollusks to contend with predators they never had before. As you can see, the effects of the decrease of shark populations can be incredibly far-reaching and will continue to spread and have unintended consequences. Another way sharks can boost local economies is through ecotourism. I'm sure you've seen all the pictures of divers cuddling up to those sharks in the Bahamas, but did you know that that's actually a huge multi-million-dollar industry? A study done by researchers from the University of British Columbia found that as of 2013, shark tourism was worth about $314 million annually, and that this number would be expected to rise up to $780 million in the next 20 years. The economy of Maldives, an island nation so small its population is less than that of Miami, owes about $20 million a year to whale shark tourism. Now, how much would a reef shark net a Bahamian fisherman if he caught it and sold it? Oceana.org estimates it's about $50 versus a lifetime value of $250,000 in the form of shark tourism. For small island nations with few other ways to make ends meet, this can be a real lifetime investment. Finally, one often overlooked asset to sharks is in their medical value. Many of you have probably heard the myth that sharks can't get cancer. And while this isn't necessarily the truth, sharks do have a remarkable resistance to cancer. The Smithsonian has a collection of thousands of fish tumors, and so far, only 15 in those collections are from sharks. Sharks are also resistant to a host of other diseases that plague their bony brethren. According to the ReefQuest Center for Shark Research, instead of having specific antibodies that target one single pathogen, like humans do, sharks have only a single type of generalized antibody. This means that a shark could fight off any disease without actually being exposed to it. Different research institutions such as ReefQuest and Moat Marine Labs are trying to figure out if the shark's immune system could provide the cure for cancer, HIV/AIDS, and a whole host of other diseases. Current studies by Moat have shown promise in inhibiting human tumor growth with shark immune cells. Of course, while the future looks bright for biomedical research now, the ethics of these tests could be called into question as shark populations continue to decline, pushing future cures further out into the horizon. So in conclusion, I hope you have all realized the value that sharks have to our society. We are blessed with stable fisheries, tourism profits, and the keys to cure our worst diseases. But more than what we depend on sharks, sharks depend on us for their survival. Researchers at Dalhousie University have estimated that on average, anywhere from 6.4 to 7.9% of the global population of sharks are being killed. While this doesn't sound like much, sharks are actually slow-breeding animals, and it only takes a population reduction of about 5% for most shark populations to destabilize. The conservative estimate these researchers calculated was that 100 million sharks were poached annually, but the number could actually be as high as 237 million. Most, if not all of these sharks, are dying at the hands of poachers who just cut off a shark's fins and toss it back in the ocean to drown. These fins are used to create shark fin soup, a Chinese delicacy that is seen as a status symbol, almost like how caviar is seen in the Western world. Demand for shark fin soup is quickly rising as China's middle class gets wealthier. Now, while this situation may seem hopeless, there is something you can do. In today's connected world, a message against shark finning can reach a wider audience than ever before. When you speak out against this wasteful practice, chances are that you might change somebody's mind about it. While it's going to take a global cultural shift to save sharks from extinction, it's a gradual process. And that process is one that you can have a hand in.